Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Jay, the Panther guy, here for a great video. So today we're going to be talking about very interesting topics. So I'm using this site. Thank you for Grail Snipes for letting me use this site. So we're going to be talking about 1990s through 2017 jersey quality. This website talks about every detail possible. So if you own a hockey jersey from any other teams other than the Florida, that are from Coho, from Nike, from Adidas, from Starter, from Pro Player, which is through the Loom back then. So you have other companies like CCM. Um, this is going to be interesting. If you guys don't know anything about jerseys or trying to get one, watch out. This video is going to be great for you guys. So let's dive in. So if you hit a like and subscribe while watching this video, share this video, and I want to see everybody thoughts about this. So let's go. So we're going to use this is going to be a little by little thing. So it says here NHL jerseys guide every manufacturer era from 1990 to today. So we're not gonna do Fanatics because we already did Fanatics a previous video before. But if you haven't seen, I'm gonna probably talk about it a little bit quickly on that. So we see right here it says Fanatic Authentic Pro 2024 to present. So if you guys don't know, I did mention about this in the video when I did the Fanatics versus Authentic Pro versus Replica. It says it right there. Beginning of 2024-2025, Fanatic took over the official outfitters of National Hockey League on ice uniform, ending Adidas' 7-year run. The new jerseys called Fanatic Authentic Pro or FAP are manufactured by SP Apparel, a Quebec-based company that are making NHL on ice jerseys for 50 years, including throughout most of Adidas era. So if you bought a jersey from Adidas that has those practice jerseys that do the theme nights and it says made in Canada, or before that, Fanatics now with Authentic Pro and it says made in Canada, you know where it's coming from. It's coming from a Canadian company. I did mention that as well in my previous video. So I'm going to skip this portion a little bit. We already talked about that, but this is a clear picture here. Authentic Pro made in Canada, 425, 475. You may get some of them on sale. You may not. Premium, which is authentic, Indonesia made 180 blank 230 name and number. Now that depends also on special editions, like Winter Classic, Stadium Series, All-Star games. So we'll go here. We'll skip this. So we're gonna go through Adidas. Adidas had the MIC, which is made in Canada, Era Zero and Prime Green. They first released Era Zero jerseys in the 2016 World Cup of Hockey. National Hockey League completely converted Adidas Era jerseys from 2017-2018 MIC Adidas jerseys to identical to what the players wore on ice. Not Reba. Adidas really did a great job with the quality. Unfortunately, Adidas MIC jerseys are only team issues, meaning that only the team issues, they sell them. They can't buy them, and you have to buy them in the arena, meaning they're not available retail purchase. Depending on their jersey and style and the team, extremely hard to come by. That's true. So if you look at here, the quality, I have a jersey that has these holes on that. So I'll put it over here. These holes here. I do have an All-Star jersey that has holes like that, and they're not made in Canada. It's just because sometimes the All-Star jerseys are exempt from this description I'm showing to because there's limited edition jerseys. They're made only one time, and that's it. So you see the difference between an on-ice product versus a retail authentic jersey. It's still real. It just doesn't have those dimples. And that's a big difference there. Now, I do have a practice jersey from the camouflage military edition. That does have dimples on it, and that's authentic, and it's not made in Canada. It's just that, again, I said it is practice jersey, one time made, so that's why. So you see it says MIC dimples, authentic up to the right. So it's still authentic. It's just depending on how it's made. So same thing here. You see different companies. So they have 5 straps. If you look at the 5 strap is different on the retail version. On the retail version, the 5 strap is with the little X around the box. The authentic version on ice product is different. So it's still real on that. That tells you there 5 strap to the right, to the left. So 2021, 2022, all National Hockey League teams begin wearing Prime Green. Prime Green is made with 50% minimum recycled content, or in this case, ocean plastic, and more detail in burr on the chest and shoulder pads. So if you have a jersey that are bright green, I recommend buying one now because they're in clearance. I saw one for like $100, blank with no name on it. So get them; they're comfortable. I have a friend who bought one for like $130, a Panther one. He got a good deal. Those are $240 jerseys on sale. So this is going to be cool here. You have Adidas Climate Light and Prime Green. So before I start, I have a lot of my jerseys I own are Climate Light, and I have two Era Ready. Um, so outside hockey, if you go to soccer, I have friends of mine who's a soccer fans. Climate Light is replica. Era Ready is authentic. But in hockey, it don't matter. They both same quality, and I'm going to show you why it says it. So retail Adidas jerseys, known as Indio Adidas jerseys, are made in Indonesia and are lower quality. So they're the same quality. It's just a little lower than the Canadian made. Retail authentic Adidas jerseys are have five strap and stitch crest, shoulder patch, and customization. However, factory customization is often stitch, single layer vinyl instead of physical stacked or kiss cut twin on ice version. The jerseys are more stretchier than the MIC authentic. I agree. Retail authentic jersey called Climate Light or Era Ready. Label on the inside color below the size tag. There is no difference between each other, just made depending the year 2017, 2019, 2019 on. So it's true. I didn't know about this. I read this article and I was like shocked because I thought Era Ready is the authentic and the Climate Light replica, but all my jerseys, Climate Light, is all real. Adidas never made a replica Adidas jersey like Fanatic have a Fanatic replica. Adidas, if you got to get a replica, you got to get a Fanatic replica. And then Adidas only had authentics, which it should be. That's what it should have been done. But I guess Fanatics, if you do that, it'd be a lot more expensive to make, especially how they make them now. 2017, 2018, only the first year had that black button. So if you see a black button like that on the left side of the jersey and it's 2019, it's fake. I did cover that on my last video when I did the eBay video. If you haven't watched that, please watch that video. So this is another one. This is pretty cool. See the logo? It's the size 46 or 44. This is size 46, size 50 of the Chicago Blackhawks. Is different. Only applies to the first year. So Reebok made jerseys 2017 and 2007. So both throughout all those years. I have a Reebok jersey. I have a Reebok All-Star Edition, and it's stitched for a replica, $130 replica jersey that I got. I guess it is because it's All-Star, but still it's all stitch. And here's going to give you a description of the difference between 1.0 and 2.0. 1.0, it was from the All-Star game, completely converted from them for the fall season. However, NHL players were 1.0 for about half the season. Select players continue wearing afterward. Many players dislike the heaviness, ultra-filled jerseys made by 1.0, trapping heat more easily. 2.0 are air kit material, ultra-fill only select parts. So I do have a 2.0 jersey. I don't have a 1.0. That's what you tell in the back. I have an All-Star 2.0 has Reebok on the back. The 1.0 has the Reebok on the back. So a lot of the art, this logo, the vector logo. If you look at eBay video that I did, CCM was the first year that they did partnership with Reebok because of the material, and after that, Reebok took over. As you say right here, you see the picture here, 2007, you have a CCM made in Canada. This is a premium jersey versus made in Canada non-CCM. It's the same thing. It's just the quality of the design at that time. Software versus hard shield on that. Authentic five strap on the Reebok versus the team issue. Big difference. It's confusing. That's why this website is great for people that are not buying that don't know how to buy jerseys, or this is going to be an awareness video for people who want to buy old jerseys on eBay. Use this site. It tells you exactly detail by detail per brand what type of the five strap. If people think it's fake and it's not, that is a real one. That's a real one. I wish this website tells you fake ones too. This is the Reebok Indigo Edge. It was made in Indonesia, but still real. It says there Indigo Edge, similar to the Reebok Edge 2.0, were made in Indonesia and slightly lower quality. It's still better than 1.0. Jerseys made of air kit fabric are slightly thinner than the 2.0, and the twin five strap was white as opposed to color matching the 2.0. So before that, you had CCM, Coho, and Reebok, 6100 series, 6100. Starting 2000, 2001, CCM and Coho took over the manufacturing of all hockey, National Hockey League teams. CCM manufactured the white jersey, Coho manufactured the dark colors and alternates. So I didn't know that. Kind of figured that. Only the white jerseys manufactured by Coho was Toronto Maple Leaf third jersey and dark colored jersey made by CCM were all-star jerseys. That's true. I do remember that. As well, the 9/11 Memorial New York Rangers jersey. Jersey wore heavily boxed, wide sleeve and chest area. Their jersey material was very heavy, very yet breathable air kit. Starting 2003, 2004, they wore dark jerseys at home, so white jerseys at reverse at Reebok took over the manufacture from CCM and Coho using the exact material from 6100 series, switching on the branding for Reebok. Okay, so that was how it was. You got CCM Big Block. CCM is expensive and very high end, depending on the year that you bought it. I never had a CCM because they were expensive back in those days. A lot of I've seen videos of CCM. They weren't out if you wear them because their logos are stitched, but they're also vinyl. They don't use vinyl anymore on a jersey, thank God. Then you have Starter and Pro Player. Now, Starter, a lot of people say Starter is a cheap brand. It's not. It's a very recognizable brand, especially in football. Football and basketball back in the 90s, they were everywhere. So Starter manufactured jersey in 95 and relocating. The first team that they put is the Avalanche when they started. And then several teams like Blue Penguins, Coyote, Bruins, and Rangers had them. So it says here, similar to the Adidas jerseys, Starter jerseys can be divided into retail authentic or on ice versions. Most authentic Starter jerseys were made in El Salvador and few of them were made in Haiti. The made in Haiti authentic did not come with a 5-star. Oh boy, that's not good. The made in El Salvador authentics are extremely close to the real deal. Occasionally with minor quality difference compared to on ice Canadian versions. On ice Starter jerseys were made in Berlin, Wisconsin, except for the handful of Montreal Canadian jerseys were made in Canada. So if you continue here, you have Starter, then you have Pro Player. Pro Player was subsidized by Fruit of the Loom. You guys didn't know that. Same company that sponsored the Dolphins Stadium. So if people don't realize, Pro Player Stadium was a jersey manufacturer for football and hockey back in those days. So if you guys didn't know that, yeah. So I'm gonna skip that for a section. So you got Nike. So if you saw my last video about the Nike Olympic jersey, I did mention them that their quality were bad compared to where they were in the 90s. They were pretty good in the 90s, especially when making the Mighty Ducks jerseys. I remember those jerseys based on the movie. So if you guys watched the Mighty Duck movie, you guys remember the Mighty Ducks. So I got Nike and Barrier. That is a Nike subsidiary. They make hockey sticks right now. They don't make jerseys anymore. So it says there, you have, sorry, 1996, you got the Blackhawks, Flyers, Maple Leaf, Mighty Ducks. Manufactured also Nashville Predators, and their inaugural season 1999, excuse me. They're only team to wear Barrier jerseys and switch to CCM the second year. So if you go replica jerseys here, there are 4 versions, 4 generations. So CCM had divided into 4 different generations. You could identify them by the size tags sewn onto the inside collar. Now you could tell when it's made in Canada, made in Korea. Then you have made in Korea. So yeah, the bottom one most likely is the replica, and then you have the authentic ones on the top. So we'll continue there. First, second, yeah, it makes sense there. Then you got Coho, also made in Canada. Vintage Hockey, CCM. Those are going to be like the 6 teams that are like from the early 1900s. So, and then of course you got the back collar. If you see this here, corner right side, this is something I wish Adidas Fanatics did, especially if they do a throwback jersey. Put the logo on the corner right side of the jersey. That was an old school thing I liked back in the day. I don't know why they didn't do that. So it says your first version, made in 1980 1990, US and Canada, fits about true to the size. The smallest fit of any CCM jersey had a single white tag says mask or CCM by mask. Jersey varies. Some were air kit, some were fast, ultra fit material, smooth silk, but can snag and pull easily. Yes, I know that. Crests are usually glue on. which also now they do heat press or similar compared to New Jersey. Second generation from 95-98 gives you a blue ring CCM tag, generate air kit material, fits slightly larger than first generation. Glue on logo to the patch, mini team logo patch. 1990 and 99, blue, black CCM fits one size large. Well, I remember those. You one size large, meaning that if you're short, it's gonna be like a pajama. Terrible. So we'll skip that. Fourth generation CCM was made from 2000, 2007. Coho was 2001, 2004, mostly made in Canada. Some were made in Indonesia and Korea, South Korea in this case. Canada, Indonesia were usually made by glue, crest, glue, and they glued them. Shoulder patches. So if the glue wore out, they're gonna fall off. Korean, excuse me, Korean version usually have sew, crest, and shoulder patches. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a good thing. So yeah, CCM, Vintage, Team Class, and Hero Hockey's versions. Reebok Premiers, 2007 to 2007, 2017. So I don't have a Premier jersey. Those are like authentic version, and I'll tell you what, they were great quality. To me, they're better than Fanatics in certain aspects of the designs of the jersey, not completely. Premier jerseys from Reebok was a size plus. I do agree. You had to get a size smaller. So I was 46. I had to get a 44. So that's why crest are almost on glue on. Shoulder patch are typical single layer screen printed vinyl sew into the jersey. So not heat press. Sew into the jersey. That's pretty prone to fading, of course. Jersey material is breathable, prone to snags and pull after heavy use. That is true. That's why I don't wear my all-star jersey, the yellow one I have, because it has some scratches on, and I don't want to wear it. Started replica from 95 to 2000. Pretty good material they were. They had some stretchy one core. Those are replicas, so they have large, medium, small on it. Pro player replicas as well. You see the picture there. Very similar quality. Most jersey fits one side. That's not good because they might just make a large and you can't fit those things. Nike replicas. I remember they had Nike ones as well. Thank God they're not making jerseys because I think nobody will buy them. Honestly, the Olympic jersey was the worst. Then you have Bear jersey. These were rare, expensive, made in Canada jerseys back in those days. Then you have Fanatic breakaways and vintage. So this is what I was talking about in the last video. Fanatic breakaway are replica style jersey for 2017 onward. Fanatics vintage jersey are replica on vintage style. So if you saw my Mitchell and Ness jersey, someone made a comment on the video saying that Mitchell and Ness is owned by Fanatic owned. I didn't know that. Now I know. That's what explains why the quality is very poorly made compared to Mitchell and Ness back in the day. This probably going to tell you. I don't know if this tells you the exact quality of it, but both fit about one size large. Logos, numbers, and letters are sewn on. Nameplates are usually heat press. Logos are more material than typical crest and shoulder pad. Better quality than the screen printed shoulder patch on the Premiers. So you see, vintage. Vintage is good. So pre-Fanatic Mitchell and Ness. You see, this is what I was talking about. Pre-Fanatic Mitchell Ness vintage are highest quality M&M jerseys feature a heavier jersey material with some tight sleeves. Crests were stitched twin with embroidered detail. Number were twin. Shoulder patches were fully embroidered. 5 straps were present where the authentic had one. Country of manufacture mostly is Vietnam. Look at the Canadian jersey there. That's the difference between the one I show you with the Olympics. This looks identical to the. I mean, whoever is Canadian fans, you guys have wonderful classic jerseys. I always give you that prop with that. And you guys always make some designs. Look at that. It is really, really, and that's vintage. That's the real Mitchell Ness jerseys. But since it says there they're acquired by Fanatic 2022, I didn't know that. And the product line does not follow and does not match the build quality. So Mitchell Ness Blue Line 1.0. So this is what I was talking about. These are very bad qualities. And then they have the 2.0 ones, which is the sequel to the first 0.0 and no good. So, and then you have the power plays. These were like current launch in 2024, success for the Blue Line. MSRP is $225, Mitchell Ness $235, depending on the quality. And chest of embroidered, shoulder patch of embroidered, stitch borders, numbers are stitched. However, some special jerseys like the Stanley Cup patch are printed and simulated, meaning heat press. Um, the catch is pro player power play is not. The fabric reads CCM. Oh, okay. Good to know that's a CCM style. Okay. So we really reached the website. So if you guys like this video, hit a like, subscribe. Tell me what you think. This is good information about the jerseys now. You guys want more? I could do more of these jersey videos. They've been pretty good. A lot of people like them. So hit a like and subscribe. Share this video. Please comment this video. We're trying to make 1,000 subscribers. Maybe by the end of the year throughout the season. So stay tuned for my next video. If you guys watching this, my next video should be up. If you're not, it'll be up soon. And like we always say here, let's go Cats.